Welcome back to Startup Accounting 101. This is a video series for founders and small business owners to understand accounting fundamentals for running a business. This is QuickBooks 101. These are basics and best practices for the most used accounting software of small business, which is Intuit QuickBooks Online. I'm using a sample company, which is Craig's Design and Landscaping Services. And if you have QuickBooks Online, you should be able to follow along. So we are in the products and services section. First is getting to this listing. For instructions on how to do that, please go watch the products and services overview. I'll link that video here in the corner. Please watch that video and come back. So this video, we will create a non-inventory product. So, as always, creating a new product or service, you go open, create new, and there will be a non-inventory section. So the first question is, what is a non-inventory product? So these are products that you buy and or sell, but don't need to or can't or don't want to track quantities of. For example, nuts and bolts used in an installation. So for most small businesses, the most common category I would think would be swag or like branded and promotional materials. So I will create one for myself. I am going to create like a branded tote. SKU is for stock keeping unit. If I'm not concerned about keeping track of it, you can leave it blank. I'm going to leave it blank. For category, it's a way to classify your products that you buy or sell. And so I will create a category. I'm going to add a new one because I don't have one that's relevant for what I'm making right now. So I'm going to make a promotional category. So here, buy or sell. So typically for a branded tote, I'm going to give it away at either trade shows or a farmer's market. So this is something I'm going to purchase from a vendor. And so on the purchase form, I will want it to be branded tote. The cost could fluctuate, so I'm going to leave this blank for now. The expense account I want it to pull from would be promotional when I purchase this. And the preferred vendor, I have 2 or 3 different vendors I might, want to use. So I would leave it blank. If you have just one preferred vendor, you can select that one vendor here. And this pretty much, I can save and close. I've created my branded tote. So here within the promotional section, I have a branded tote. This is a non-inventory item. So the best practices I could give for a non-inventory item, as always, create a category and subcategory. It will make reporting and analysis easier later. For non-inventory, really any item, I would only create this for a frequently purchased item. Otherwise, I would just categorize it directly on the vendor bill. Now, for most non-inventory products, you are likely the end user. If you're not keeping track of it, you're probably the end user. And for that reason, you will likely have to pay sales tax. Okay, even if you're using it as like a free gift with purchase, if you've got a bundle, you're kind of throwing, whenever a customer buys something, you're going to put it into a nice branded tote to give to a customer. You are still like using the product. So if your vendor is, even if you have a resale license or certificate, let's say it that way, your vendor should be adding sales tax to your invoice if you are essentially the end user of this item. If you are using a vendor where it's mixed, where they're producing something that you're both selling and using, for ease, because you have that resale certificate, there may not be any taxes, sales taxes on your vendor bills. If that's the case, then you will likely have to remit use tax. So when submitting sales tax, that's just one half of it. It's usually sales and use tax. So there will have to be a way for you to keep track of these branded totes that that is being used. So you can either keep track of it on the side, or you can say, hey, I bought this huge box and I'm just gonna remit the use of the entire box to the state of California or whatever state. Or you could activate the sales section of this non-inventory item. So if I activated this, this is a promotional item. I'm selling it for $0. It's a free gift or purchase. I can tag a promotional items income account. It'll have $0 or pretty much not be profitable, but at least on invoices to customers, I'll be able to put quantities on, like this is how many of these branded totes I sold for $0, and that could be a way of tracking the use tax. So so you can activate that, you can save it, and it'll be available if you want to put it into a bundle or something like that. But as a non-inventory item, there is no quantity on hand or reorder points. So if you do use it on sales invoices, you have to make sure that it's not going to block the sale of the entire order because it has run out or the warehouse isn't able to put a branded tote into the sales order. So that's just things to keep in mind. And with that, we have created the non-inventory item. So that in the next video, we will be looking at creating inventory. Like and comment if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching.